What is up, everyone? I hope you're all good. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And, well, actually, I hope you're doing better than my Biorb is doing. Well, certain elements. The inhabitants are doing really well. Some other bits, not so much. Now, I was away for a few days last week and I accidentally turned the fan up. Now, if you don't know, a Biorb has a fan. Oh, I haven't shut the lid. So the Biorb has a fan built into the lid that circulates air and keeps everything fresh. And now that I've shut the lid, it's got a mist maker as well. So that keeps it humid and everything like that. So it's a really cool piece of kit. Now, before I went away for a few days, I turned the fan up, thinking it would do better. It's been really hot in England. It's been really just humid in the house. So I thought turning the fan up would be a good idea. Little did I know it would affect some plants quite majorly. Now, as you can see, the Hypoestes are doing okay. They're all these green ones down either side. They're still good. They're quite robust and rubbery leaves. So I think they've done okay because, well, they're quite tough. The crypts, weirdly, have done okay. They're not as good as they were. They were all a lot more standing up and a lot better. But the crypts are still there in small pockets. The ones that have been majorly affected are the ferns across the back. So we had some Java ferns and we had some of the African bulbitis fern back there. And they were doing absolutely fine until these, 3-4 days of this fan being turned up. I think it just took too much humidity out of the Biorb and they just dried out, which is a bit unfortunate. You can also see the plants, the little grasses and things I had. Some of them are still hanging on, some of them have still got a bit of green to them, but ultimately they have succumbed to the drier air as well, which is a bit of a shame. But ultimately we must overcome and we must get over these little hiccups and these little problems, because one thing has happened, and that is the fact that all of the woodlice have done really, really well. They have, the population has absolutely boomed. I've got hundreds and hundreds of babies all doing really, really well, and I can only assume that all this breaking down plant matter and all these leaves and everything like that is just, giving them a food source. As with any hobby, you get these hiccups, don't you? You have these mistakes and you have these problems. I thought the fan would actually be fine, and I thought turning it up would be a good thing to get some more heat and humidity out of there, but ultimately doesn't seem like that was the case. Now, I made a bit of a mistake when it comes to the planting, to be honest. I took Katie and Quinn to the garden centre with me, and Quinn, being the stubborn 2-year-old that he is, decided he was going to pick all the new plants for the Biorb. And you know what? I thought, let's pick our battles. Let's not argue with the 2-year-old. Let's let him pick out what plants he wants. So I think I have got every coloured plant for the indoor warm houseplants that he could possibly find. Luckily, they're all small and they're quite all inexpensive, really. But we are going to plant this up with pretty much every colour under the sun that houseplants come in. And I'm quite excited to do it. I think we're going to remove a couple of the Hypoestes and maybe put them into our tanks, because that way I can make sure that they're okay. I think houseplants are going to do a lot better than aquarium plants. The aquarium plants seem a bit more volatile, I would say. So when you do have a hiccup like this, I think houseplants would deal with the cooler, less humid air. Aquarium plants don't, unfortunately. So we're going to go get all those houseplants quickly. And we can have a bit of a play and see if we can not rescape it necessarily, but replant it to make it look pretty. And I think it's going to be like a disco Biorb by the time I'm finished. So let me show you what Quinn picked out. So we've got a couple of different types of these Fittonias. So we've got a red veined one and a white veined one. So they're quite nice. I like them. Then he picked out 3 of these Hypoestes, which, you've got a bright red one, which is crazy red. You've got a white splodgy one and a pink one. I'll be totally honest with you, he was picking them out and he was getting a bit grumpy about me trying to put certain ones back. So I'm not sure all of these will work, but from what I've read, I think they're all going to work in the Biorb. Then he picked out a couple of Tradescantia. So we've got this really nice light pink one. I think these are going to go mad in there because these just go everywhere. And then in this Tradescantia, I don't know if you can see, but it's glittery. It's amazing. But as I say, they're not overly expensive. I think they were 3 for £9. So ultimately, it doesn't matter if some of them go mad. And then the other plants he picked out is this, which is a Schefflera, which if you've watched my recent shallowscape video, that's actually the tree that I've got growing in the shallowscape. But this one's obviously variegated with nice like white bits in the leaf. Someone in the comments said that these go mad. So again, this one might be a little bit of a jungle crazy in the back of there. And the last one is this, Gynura? Yeah, great. It's very purple and a bit hairy, so I'm not too sure what that's going to do, but at least it's going to add a bit of colour and a bit of interest to the tank. Now, ultimately, Quinn loves looking in here. He loves all the woodlouses. He loves, like, literally walks past. He's like, dairy cow. Want to see the dairy cows. So I want to inspire him to look into these a bit more. You know, I'm proper into nature and animals and fish and all of that sort of stuff. So if he's really inspired by something, I want to, like, build that. It's a little bit like our nature pond outside. Every time he goes outside, he wants to see the tadpoles, he wants to look in there. We found a baby newt in there recently. Actually a few, but definitely one that I was able to catch and have a look at. So I want to inspire that. So if he wants bright coloured plants in there, if that's going to attract him to look in there more because there's colour and pops of different things going on, why not? It doesn't hurt. Yes, I would prefer a bit more of a... I don't know, a cohesive look to the tank, I suppose. I'd have gone for maybe a lot more greens and a lot more normal looking plants, but let's not argue with him. Let's put all these colourful plants in. Now, first I am going to give it a wipe down because, in all honesty, inside has gone a little bit mucky and the outside's not much better, to be honest. It's a bit dusty. It's a bit weird because obviously on an aquarium you get the algae growing, whereas this just gets like, I don't know, dusty, I suppose you would say. So I'll give it a quick wipe down. Then we can pull out some of the Anubiuses and then we can get all of these planted. I think it's going to look different. Definitely different. Now, we do have to be super careful with Biorbs because they are acrylic. They're not glass, so they can scratch really easily. If you were to use like a normal aquarium scrubber on this or even one of your like dish sponges, it would scratch up something chronic. Now, in most of my videos, I use these, which are the NT Labs algae sponges. Now, this isn't a sponsored video, but every time I use them, everyone's asking, oh, what are those white sponges you keep using? They are algae sponges from NT Labs. We're going to give it a bit of a clean with one of these, outside and in, get that cleaned up, and then we can commence, well, trying to make it look a little bit more alive rather than all these brown spots and all these dead leaves. Now we've given the tank a wipe down, I am just going to get rid of some of these Anubiuses. Now I don't want to get rid of all of them because honestly the leaves underneath them obviously seem to be feeding this family of isopods that are living in here now. So these might end up getting put back, but we shall see. There's one of the big mama or daddy isopods. Look, how big is he? He's probably the size of my finger now. Oh, he's gone. Anyway, we're going to leave a lot of this leaf litter in because I think it's good for them. I think ultimately that is going to be feeding them and giving them homes and giving them something to eat. So I'm going to leave a lot of that in, but we are going to plant these plants all around it. As I was checking the plants I was removing, this little guy came into view. So I've just had to put all of the plants I took out in little pots to make sure there's no other little dairy cows on there. I'm going to pop this one back in now, but yeah, I definitely need to be careful because there is some tiny babies in this tank and I don't want them escaping into my house. That would not be ideal. Right, we need some spaces for these plants. So this bit of wood that's in the back, I think I'm just going to stand that up a little bit more. That'll give us a little pocket underneath to plant something. Get that pebble out the way. Oh my word, there's so many babies in here. Every time I move something, there's like a little migration of tiny little dairy cows. And then I think there's a bit of wood up here. Again, I'm just going to push a lot of this down. Go, go, be free. I'm going to push a lot of these leaves down into the substrate, just so that, again, it keeps that sort of ecosystem of all of the breaking down waste going. Yeah, I've got another pocket behind there to plant in. Perfect. Now, it's going to be quite tricky to dig into this soil, so I'm hoping that my little, like, substrate scraper mover tool is going to help me. Hopefully I can just create a few pockets to plant into. I think the first two, I reckon we're going to go with the Schefflera tree. That's going to go in the back somewhere. And I think this purple thing, because That looks like it's going to get big. I think a lot of the houseplants we've got here do have the opportunity to get big, so there might literally be no space left in this pile by the time all these plants grow up. Or I might make a mistake by, I don't know, turning the fans on too much, and maybe that will slow them down. Who knows? But let's get all these planted anyway. So that's it all replanted now. I've just got to drip it all over the floor. Just got to put the mist maker back on without causing too much of a mess. This one just clips in up here and plugs in, and then we are finished. Then I've just got to wait for Quinn to wake up and I can show him all of his plants that he chose in his Biorb. I say his, I look after it, but there's not much looking after to do, to be fair. The little woodlouse do look after themselves, but I'll give you a view once he's woken up. Right. You want to look at a dairy cow, please? Can you let go of the tripod then? Do you want me to pick you up so you can see a dairy cow? He's just run off, shouting dairy cow. So we might be back in a minute. Come on then, up you come. Ready? Brilliant.
A dairy cow. A big cow. A little one.
A big dairy cow and a little dairy cow. Be gentle with them, don't hit them, remember? Right, what do you think of the new plants then, Quinn?
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, go!
Don't shout! What do you think of the new colourful plants you picked out?
Cool.
Oh, they're cool, are they? Fantastic. Oh, you're going to have that now. Oh, that's the lid for that. Do you want to put that on there, do you? Okay. Well done. Right, so what do you think of the purple one at the back, look? And the sparkly one?
Sparkly one.
Sparkly one, and a pink one.
Pink one.
And a red one.
Red one.
And a white one.
And white one.
What do you think? Does it look good? Does it?
I do. Big. Mommy. Daddy. Big. Quinn. Big.
Your Quinn's big, is he? Okay, cool. So do you like it then? And now you're going to steal my scaping tool. Brilliant. Right. I think that's it from you, isn't it?
No, Daddy.
Okay. Do you want to say bye to everyone?
Bye.
And I'm going to put you on the floor now, yeah? Do you want to run around again?
Okay.
So Quinn is currently running below the tripod, back and forth, shouting, go, go. So never work with children, never work with children, never work with animals. I'll bring you back when he's in bed so I can show you actually what it looks like. No, it's actually the next evening because, well, in all honesty, Quinn didn't want to go to bed and I didn't get time to film yesterday. So it is actually the next day, which is fine. It has also given me opportunity to look at the footage from yesterday, and I'll be honest, my new light bulbs that I put in makes me look really red, so can't change that now. The tank looks good, I look really sunburnt, and I'm a little bit sunburnt, but not that sunburnt. I am really happy with how the tank's turned out. The colourful plants actually look really good. It looks quite, I don't know, I guess like an alien world, quite sort of, I don't know, futuristic, tropical. Looks really cool. I quite like all these colours. With the big upheaval in their enclosure, the dairy cows have gone into hiding, unfortunately, and haven't really shown their face. They are living under this bogwood, and a few have come out for some food that I've put in for them, but yeah, they're not as active as they were a couple days ago, so I expect they'll get their confidence back once the enclosure settles down and, you know, I don't put my hands in there and literally replant everything. bring you back for a future update on this biorb. It might be in the form of a short because, well, it depends how well it grows or how badly it grows. It might make a video, it might not. If not, I'll give you a big update. I have been tempted to get a bigger creature in here, like a bigger animal, but I just quite like the dairy cow isopods. I think they're quite cool and you don't see much of them, but I don't know. Maybe, yeah, drop in the comments if you know much about these guys. What would live with them? Let me know in the comments, that'd be really cool. Hope you've enjoyed it, hope you found it interesting. We'll see how all these colourful plants go. To be honest, the next time I show you this, it might just be like literally a ball of plants, because I know that some of these plants, like the Tradescantia, that thing, I've seen it go mental, so I'm a little bit worried, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I've got no worries. I've got a pair of scissors, I've got some escaping scissors. We'll be fine, we'll keep on top of it. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one.